In this video, I'm going to show you how to change a percent to a decimal using a shortcut. So to go from decimal to percent, we had a shortcut. It's very similar to that process, just a little bit different. So I'll use the same examples that I did before. I'll start with 32%, then move to 151%. So the shortcut, before I get into it, what the shortcut actually is just this right here. To convert from a percent to a decimal, move your decimal 2 places to the left. So for decimal to percent, it was moving the decimal 2 places to the right. Now we are doing percent to decimal, and that is 2 places to the left. So there may not be a decimal in every single percent that you're given. So these first two that I'm going to do the examples with, there is not a decimal. But we can assume that in 32%, there is a decimal at the end. So it could be like 32.0% or just 32. So we assume that the decimal comes after that whole number, after the end of our whole number. So if my decimal comes at the end of this, if it comes right here, if I take that decimal and move it 2 places to the left, that'll be once here, twice there. And so that will become 32 hundredths, 0 and 32 hundredths. Which makes sense, should make sense, because 32% as a fraction is 32 over 100. So 32 over 100, 32 hundredths, those connect. So 32% moving the decimal 2 places to the left gives me 0 and 32 hundredths. Likewise, for 151%, moving the decimal would be considered to be after the 1 right there where I placed it. So if I move that decimal 2 places to the left, there's once, there's twice. It would go in between the first 1 and 5, so it would be 1. Get rid of that, it's not necessary. It would be 1 and 51 hundredths. Move the decimal 2 places to the left, and you'd be done. Now we'll look at 0.7%. So in 0.7%, the decimal is visible. So it's nice. We'll just work with it as it is. So the shortcut's still the exact same. Move the decimal 2 places to the left. There's once. That would be twice. In that gap right there, we would fill with a 0. So that would become 0 and 7 thousandths. So 0.007 thousandths would be the correct way to pronounce that. So 7 thousandths would be the decimal form of 0.7%. Another example with a decimal, visible decimal, would be something like 28.9%. Again, shortcut's the exact same. Decimal moves 2 places to the left. That would be 0.289, 0 and 289 thousandths. So all you need to remember is to move the decimal 2 places to the left. If you're dealing with all whole numbers like we were in the first page over here, you just assume that there is a decimal at the end of where you're at the end of the last number before the percent, and then you can move it 2 places from there. So use the shortcut.